All right, good afternoon. My name is Nena Alice Carlo with the brand name Nene Menineri. Let's talk about the use of alternatives to make headways. Okay, now we have um, blocking materials that are now they are very expensive now. Okay, like the mats, the molding mat, the tsunami, and the rest. Okay, they are now very expensive. So, um, as a crafter, we just have to improvise. Okay. The last time I asked people on my wall, on my Facebook wall, on the alternatives they use in the making headways. So, and so many people mentioned other materials. So I also mentioned the use of bags bags in stocking foodstuff. For example, we have the onion bag, okay? Then we also have the stockfish bag. Now, the onion bag and the stockfish bag are similar, okay? Now, I'm not talking about the onion bag that has the big holes, no. The one with the tiny holes like this. Now, what I'm using today for today's class is the one with the stockfish the one with the tiny holes, which is the stockfish bag. See how it looks like. Okay, the stockfish bag, it has a tiny hole. Now look at the one I was able to block using this block. So let's see the same thing as the use of the millinery materials. Okay, but one disadvantage about this alternatives is you only use them when you have to cover with fabrics like this, when you have to cover with another fabric, okay, like this headway. Now, today's class, apart from blocking it directly like this, I want to teach us a very good method so that it won't look awkward by the time your clients, for instance, when your client turns his or her headwear, of course, we're going to line, but when he or she sees inside, it won't look awkward. Okay. Now, to make it more beautiful, the use of the stockfish bag or the onion bag, to make it more beautiful, we are going to dye this bag, okay, using our Dylion dye. Now, I have two methods of dyeing materials. Now, instead of just dyeing it to give us this, for instance, to give us like this, for instance, okay, I prefer blocking first. I prefer wrapping the bag on the mold before dyeing. Do you understand? Good. Now, what I usually do is to mix the the dye together with our stiffener. I mix it. Now, just remember you're not to add water. This is matte. We don't add water. Okay. So we're going to mix it vigorously. Put your dye inside and mix. Depending on the color you want. If you want your mat to give you black, of course you use black. Do you understand? Why some can just dye, you dye the mat first, you dye the bag first before you start blocking. Now, do you know how to dye the normal way? You put warm water, okay, salt, little salt, and please ensure that the water is small. Then cut the normal this thing you want to use. Then small water, please add salt, small salt, mix together. Then put your dye, mix together. Okay. Before you dip, before you dip your bag inside, the onion bag or the stockfish bag inside, and please ensure that you wet it first. Squeeze out the water. then immerse it and make sure the dye goes around it. Do it twice. Okay, you can dye, then re-dye again to give you a very thick color, for instance, like this. Do you understand? Good. Now, or you can use this other alternative, mix the dye. I prefer this one. Okay, I prefer this because it saves the dye. It saves your dye instead of using a big amount of dye, or it's, you just, it saves dye anyway. Yeah, I prefer using this method because it saves dye. Okay, and it will give you the exact color you want, exactly, without even dyeing twice. Do you understand? Good. Now, before I mention, you use the normal stiffener, or you use the chemical stiffener. Okay, this is the chemical stiffener. Now I'm using the normal PVC stiffener. Okay, now let's proceed. Now the next thing is to do is to, of course, you are going to wet your this thing. You're going to wet your the bag. Good. I would have wet before um attaching it to the block. Okay, now let's move to the next stage. All right. Now let's proceed. Because the the fabric I want to wrap with the mold is black. I try to sorry, it's a wine. I try to use wine or rose blood color. Now you can use black, oh. You can use any color you want, but I would advise you use the normal color, or you use of black. Do you understand? So after mixing, I'm using brush. You can use your paint brush, okay? But I'm using my toothbrush, whichever one you prefer. Let me put it close by so that we'll see what I'm doing. Okay. Now you ensure that you rub vigorously. So I won't advise you make use of your fingers or your hand to avoid stain. And also more importantly, or sorry, most importantly, um, so that the dye and the mixture would sink inside. Okay, so the dye is not only going to appear the first bag, but the inward one. Don't forget, we usually wrap, like now I use the two bags, okay, so that I will have a stronger blocked this in material. Of course, don't forget the inward, the edges are more important too, because we are going to need them. We're going to need this part. Now, lest I forget, when blocking or molding using alternatives like these bags, this onion bag or stockfish bag, we usually use cold method of blocking. Now, what we mean by cold method of blocking is this. At the beginning, instead of using steam, okay, you don't use steam because why? The bag itself does not stretch. Even when you fold using um what's it called? The bias form, it will not stretch. So you just go ahead, just wrap. Don't use steam method or don't use iron before you block. Okay. I believe we all know the function of using steam method while blocking. So we've gotten what we are looking for. We've gotten the exact color we want. So this is it's going to come out very beautiful. Give us exactly what we want. Okay. Now what we're going to do next is to sun dry. Okay. Sun dry. And it even looks more beautiful now, Seth. As if not for the fall that is coming out, you can use it to just block. You can block directly. Okay. If you want to. Okay. Now take it to the sun. So that's all. So the use of dye method, dyeing of the alternatives, and the alternatives, like I mentioned, are the stockfish bag or onion bag. Okay, either instead of just blocking ordinary to look, yeah, to make it look awkward, that it won't look presentable. Okay, especially when you're making it for when you're using it for a better client. Okay. Oh, sorry, let me not use that language. When you're using it for a client, okay, that pays well. Or if the client can't afford other the main millinery materials, or that is blocking materials like tsunami and the rest, okay, you can just make it presentable, please. Make it, don't just use this, block it like this directly to look awkward. So just dye it. It looks more presentable. Start taking. Thank you very much. My name is Nena Alice Kalu with the brand name Nelly Millinery. I also have other classes, oh sorry, other courses, um, free courses on my YouTube channel. Okay, Nelly Millinery Academy. Just turn off please kindly subscribe and turn on your notification buttons because I am going to be releasing more and more advanced courses on millinery, beading of fabrics or caps, and the marketing of our products is that taken. Thank you very much and God bless you.